All right, our friends at the Wall Street Journal just did an interesting survey of economists saying that within the next few years, there's a 60% chance of a recession. Now, I don't know if that's such a leap, but nevertheless, it would indicate that that's a historical trend, that certainly within that time period, we're going to be looking at a slowdown of some sort, recession maybe. Bob Herbold, of course, the former bigwig at Microsoft, and now all things tech. Great read of what's going on in the business and high-tech landscape. Good to see you, Bob.
Nice to see you, Neil.
Do you share that view that a recession is in the offing, that no matter who comes in to the White House next January, they're going to be looking at a slowdown at the very least, a recession most likely, sometime in their term?
Well, I tend to agree that the probability is pretty high that that might occur, but, you know, the economists say that it's going to occur because it's time for a recession.
Right.
Which seems like a shallow reason.
But we're already due for one by math, right? I mean, well, one of the arguments is that this recovery's been so tepid, maybe because it's been so slow and steady, but slow, that this could go on for some time. Are you in that camp?
I think that it will, and it's primarily due to the fact that you know, tough problems are not being tackled by the government. We've been talking about entitlements for 10 years. The trust level of the government is down from like 75% it was in the 60s. Now it's like in the teens and dropping. If you look at productivity, it's at an all-time low at a 0.5%. If you look at household income, it's off versus 10 years ago by 2% in constant dollars, which is amazing. So you've got a lot of reasons. The Fed is acting more like a political animal than a sensible economic entity.
Well, that's what Donald Trump said. That's what Donald Trump says. If not for the Fed, this market, this house of cards would come tumbling down. Do you agree with that? Well,
if the policy of keeping interest rates so low has put the squeeze on the middle class big time. It's put the squeeze on a lot of organizations. They've borrowed a lot of money, but they're not doing anything with it because of the fear of what the heck is going on. So we really have a major mess on our hands.
Do you think right now that whoever gets in there, you're going to argue for something to keep the economy going or to something to keep the recovery, even if you argue it's a lackluster recovery, which it is? The best way to do that is either cut taxes, Donald Trump says, or increase government spending, Hillary Clinton says, and in fact raise taxes to boot. Many in your industry, the high-tech industry, feel that Hillary's prescription is better than his. I'm not saying that across the board, but I'm saying a majority of your colleagues in your industry. Do you concur?
Well, we could talk in theoretical terms if actually what they talk about during the election had any chance at all of becoming reality. There might be some hope on a number of these issues. But what we've seen over the last 15 years, I mean, we've had two periods of 8 years of Republicans, now 8 years of Democrats. And tell me, have the big problems been tackled? No. Do things really get shaped to tackle the future productively in this country? I don't think so.
No, I would say this, Bob, under Republicans and Democrats, government's gotten bigger. It's gotten much bigger. So if anything, the idea of that's a beast that just gets out of control.
So we need something dramatic. We need a constitutional convention or something. Where's Ben Franklin when we need him? We have some serious problems to deal with, and we don't have the mechanism to deal with them. And it's a frightening situation, and that's why the trust level is so low right now in the country.
Well put. Bob, thank you very much. Former Microsoft COO Bob Herbold.